I was thinking like I have the civilian app that tells you like, oh,
The shit going on around you.
right, all the crimes and everything. And I realized the other night I'm like
Citizen.
Citizen.
Oh, okay.
Citizen.
I thought there was a new one.
Citizen. And I realized the other night I'm like, I think Jamie-Lynn is too nice to have this app.
I don't have that app.
But I mean, like, even if you got it, I think you would delete it because
I don't want to know.
I have to tell you, it's not that crazy. It's just like at 1 a.m. right before bed, it went off and it was like, woman abducted at gunpoint, like a few blocks from my place. And it just made me think, because, I'm...
Do you think people, like, sometimes lie on those things and are, like, fucking with people? Is it, like, backed up?
No. It's police reports. It's like straight up,
okay.
like 911 was called.
Okay.
Yeah, this is not a joke.
Okay.
You know?
Not a drill.
And yeah, I was just thinking, I was like, if Jamie-Lynn read that right before she went to sleep, I feel like you would cry or like maybe not be able to go to bed right away. Like, obviously, you're so tired from the kids, maybe you could, but.
We're super stoned.
Like if right before you went to bed, it was like, bing, it was like a woman a block away was abducted at gunpoint. I feel like that would rattle you. And not because you were scared of being abducted, but because you would feel for the woman.
On the alarm. Yeah. I actually really can't tell you how I would feel. I actually don't have an answer.
Well, that's what I'm here for.
So what would I do?
I think I just think you'd be rattled.
For sure. Well, God, if you heard somebody was abducted by gunpoint,
Hey, I did. Guess what? Slept like a baby. No, but it is. It's like when you have the app so much, it's like you develop.
You're, like desensitized from it.
Yeah, and you're like, oh shit. You're like, oh, that's fucked up. But like, I feel like that would stuff like that would hit you.
I unsubscribed from like the neighborhood one where like you get the emails about, because it was like such bullshit too, being like,
some drama.
I saw a cat wandering around the neighborhood, and I'm like,
yeah,
okay.
There was one in Venice where there was like a random peacock that was on the loose.
Oh,
different people would
on
just
the loose.
Yeah, he had a name and everything, and they would just like, hey, I see. I forget what the name was, like Albuquerque. I don't know.
Yeah,
and I saw Albuquerque, and there would just be a different picture of it, on a different street every day. I have some Citizen, some headlines.
Let's do it.
This is the type of stuff that happens, and like you'll be shocked, kind of like.
Is there an Instagram account of Citizen? There should be.
I'm sure there is.
You just got combo topics, Jamie.
Yeah, you just got combo.
You just got Robin Cast 1-2 punch on a topic.
But like the preparedness.
This is what you're working with,
Is this what happens on car rides?
You're over there raising people,
up.
and we're setting up 1-2 punches.
Someone's got to.
Man armed with knife and taser. That's pretty par for the course.
Par for the course.
Group assault involving glass.
Very vague.
Super vague.
Very vague.
And what do you see going on in your head when you hear that?
Yeah, exactly.
Indecent exposure near spa.
Oh God.
I feel like
near spa.
Yeah, I feel like in the spa, that's all that's happening is indecent exposure. But it's legal in there because that's the understanding.
Yes.
But as soon as you step foot outside.
Somebody went out for a ciggy, naked.
3 men fighting with bats.
Oh, jeez.
That's what they called you on the cruise ships, naked ciggy.
Naked ciggy, that's right.
Woman with hammer chasing, assaulting man.
It sounds like a little Elin Tiger thing.
Nude man making threats out here in Los Angeles. That's very common.
I've seen that.
So
Venice.
vague again.
Man stole $400 worth of hair extensions. Tell me what the story is with that. Is it because they're super expensive, or
hair extensions are so expensive?
We know who that was. That was our boy.
Who?
Big guy.
I don't know what you're saying.
Yeah, man, that's on our other pod we talked about.
Yeah.
Man burning passerby with welding torch.
That's crazy.
I thought you said that's great.
Just people walking by, just
people fighting atop washing machines.
Wow. Well, they probably started off banging on top of the washing machine, and it led into
You know what? These are becoming, like, I used to sit in bed and cry laughing at those damn you autocorrects.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they would make me laugh, and this is similar.
I thought you were going to say, like, the Onion or Florida Man or one of those things.
Onion's great.
Drill wielding man threatening diners. That one was real close to my place.
I would love someone to do illustrations of all these.
Yeah. That's a great
This
idea.
is a great book. I shouldn't have said this
You
out
should-
loud.
you
This
just
might
get-
be my moneymaker.
We can delete.
Bryce, take that out.
You could have Bo do the illustrations.
Oh my god!
I thought this would make Jamie cry. It's actually getting her going a little bit.
Wait a
Dude,
minute.
you are so horny. Calm
Bo,
down.
I am so horny,
Horny
for
for
this.
violence.
I'm so horny for this coffee table book.
Speaking of, man swinging large wooden stick near country club.
You know Bo could kill that illustration.
Yeah.
Crush it. Also, I think that's just golf.
Lots of it would be.
I think that's a golf club.
It would be lots of stick figures assaulting other stick figures.
Yeah.
He's gotten a little better.
No, he's great.
great.
I can actually see kind of what's happening.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jamie does such the mom thing that I love, which is like, if we
Oh, that's so not a piece of shit. thing you drew.
no. Like, if we say, if we're like, you know what, Jamie, your kids are so good. Like, they're really good kids. She's like, yeah, well, you don't know what I got to do. Like, you should have seen them yesterday when they're.
Yeah.
But then when we're like, man, today they were a little bit. She's like, no, but they are so sweet. Like, you know, like whatever we say, she does the
Right.
flip.
God, I'm annoying.
I kept him in a box for 3 days straight. You don't. This is why. Report of men assaulting, wrapping man in twine.
Wait, say that?
Report of men assaulting,
Comma,
wrapping man in twine.
Was that you after wrapping your Christmas gifts? You were all over
he
that
had so
twine on
much
Christmas.
twine.
That's why I was big on the twine. Yeah, I feel like some of these are just big bullies. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
Gabby,
Hey,
we-
Gabby's, ladies and gentlemen.
We
bring
told
in
you.
our
We
cup.
told
Bring in
you
the
you
cup.
can't be on the show anymore,
Gabby's
Gab.
got good hair today.
Oh, always. If her and
all right.
Cassim had a kid, boom,
There you
they
go.
get her hair. That's the first thing everyone says.
You got my card, Gabby, for getting something?
Whoa.
What's this next one?
Report of man chasing coworker.
What?
Whoa, easy, David
Nice.
Letterman.
Right on.
So athletic.
Yeah, there's there's plenty
This
more
is
of these.
so fun.
Man
Well,
exposing himself.
Wait.
Person
so-
threatened with broom.
Do I need to like contact Citizen App to get permission to make this book?
Well, I don't know. I don't know how Hollywood.
They don't
I will
own the
pay-
copyrights to the
I
crimes.
will pay
Yeah.
Bo in Robux to illustrate this book for me.
Yeah, I feel like there's he has all the tools already, and all you got to do is just if you just did it on your Instagram alone, and then it gained buzz, and then split it off, and just like, hey guys, here's a screen cap of the Citizen, and then Bo's drawing
With the captions.
with the caption.
I'm doing this.
You know what's crazy? I was thinking about
I
if
want
you
10%.
You will get more than
20%?
that. Yes.
Okay.
if you type
Sweet.
into Google like Osama, it's like Osama bin Laden, or like the worst people in the world, like their name
Yeah.
will pop up. Any like these guys, all these chasing coworker, like
Yeah.
that guy's name will pop up. But if you search a porn star, it's like they don't exist.
Really?
Yeah, I've heard when you search a porn star on Google and you type in like their first name, it doesn't give you
Why is that?
the suggestions.
They're protected?
So I'm saying it's something that we all do.
I have been getting phone calls lately from people being like, Miss Sigler? And I'm like, yeah. They're like, oh my God, it really is you. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Your number's out there?
Yes.
Oh
I've
man,
had at
I wonder
least
who
6
sold.
or
I
7
sold
calls.
your number.
I've had at least 6 or 7 calls in the past 3 weeks.
That was the fastest solved mystery in the history of mysteries. You just said, I wonder who I sold your number.
I wonder who I
There
sold
has
your
to be
number
a
to.
service that I can sign up to get it protected from that, right?
That's a great question. I feel like
Right in to Ask Pajama Pants.
I feel like there's that's just
Please.
one of those things where you got to get a new number for.
What do you mean? Like you think you're listed?
Getting a new number sounds
Sounds awful, right?
Hell-ish
It's
to
like
me.
losing a wallet times 10.
the worst.
Yeah,
I've had my number for 20 years. I'm not changing it.
me too. I've had mine since 1999.
Oh, that's amazing. Mine's longer than 2004.
Isn't it weird that we have these attachments to things that are essentially meaningless? Like I don't know your
No,
number.
it's not meaningless.
It's not
The-
meaningless
the,
at
The
all.
amount of people that I
Great.
would
Well,
have
let's
to
discuss.
the amount of people that I would have to like. I'm already dealing with moving, and just trying to make sure that everybody has my new address because.
Go ahead and shout it out. You guys want to send Jamie something nice? When
Well,
she's
you know it, so they'll know it in a few months anyway. You know.
Yeah.
You know, everyone knows everyone in Austin.
But here's why it's not meaningless is because there's somebody who, like, oh, you're best friend from like when you were 14 years old might hit you up and be like, hey man, like how have you been? And you're like, oh shit. Like, you know, some people might.
Yeah.
You've had a cell phone since you were 14? Or since I was 14, I guess you were even, but since 99?
Yeah, maybe like, 99 or 2000, one of those 2 years.
Well, that was also the
I was in I got one in high school.
Yeah,
I had a pager. I got a pager in 7th grade. You know what I did? Mountain Dew had a little program where you would take 10 UPCs of Mountain Dew.
We have an episode called Cassim's Mountain Dew Pager.
We've talked about this.
Yeah.
Well, I was so into the idea of having a pager. And like I've mentioned, I just kept it in my sock drawer because once a week, Mountain Dew would send you like a beep that would say like, enjoy new flavor, you know, like it would just say like, oh, hope you guys are crushing and doing the dew today.
Cowabunga.
So cool.
You call the number and it's just like, hey, thanks for calling Mountain Dew. You rock. Don't forget to shred it.
See, I just want to say like,
everything.
This is
extreme.
America. When people talk shit about America, or like there really is. You live the dream here because you were an immigrant. You know, you give your whole sob story.
Thank you, dude. Thank you so much.
Yeah, the guy for the kid from Jordan who couldn't, you know, like made fun of this.
Yeah,
I was on the #1 TV show in the world, and you had a cell phone before me.
Yeah, can you believe it?
America.
Yeah,
America.
I feel like, you know, and then you had the language on the pager. That's how I was doing drugs when I was like 11 to 14.
Hell yeah, dude.
So, dude, that's how we did it, dude. You boo, like you send somebody a page and then you do dash 420. Yeah. And then you come up with little codes. You never did that?
No, I didn't smoke weed when I was
Loser,
younger.
dude.
Oh, come on. All those guys were beeping you 8008, right?
Let me see your 8008s.
Yeah. Or boobless.
13, booby.
Girls with like didn't like you would write like boobless. Or go to hell. You could write go to hell.
Yeah. What a burn.
Yeah.
Go to hell, boobless.
You know what Bo asked me? Bo asked me if when we moved to Texas he could change his name to Kyle.
Sick.
I was like, why?
Who's a Kyle?
He's like,
he wants a new start.
Cool. Kyle is his middle name.
Oh, okay. Dude, you would think, he's starting fresh.
Or Oliver. He wants Kyle or Oliver.
Big difference between Kyle.
Which is why Max Marcotte's best friend is Oliver in the comic book that you guys are writing.
It's he's writing it, okay? All I'm doing is guiding him.
You're ghostwriting.
No, I don't think so, okay? He's all the best
ideas. You're right.
Also, I don't want my name on that book.
I did have the good idea of that everywhere he skates just turns to ice.
Yeah, you did. You did. That was your idea. I don't know if he's incorporated
Did you notice that Bo came up with 7 ideas after that just to not, it's so
just
his
to
dad.
Not use
just to not use it, but then came back and be like, but I think I'm going to use that one. Like he just couldn't just be like, yes, he had to come around to the idea himself.
Yeah.
So Cutter.
Yeah, I really can't wait for that book to
drop. Well, now he's got a whole series after his other Citizen App one too.
I wish I would have got him a thinner blank comic book to fill out because there's a lot of pages.
You can rip them out easy and we can bind them.
Yeah.
But yeah, he wants to change his name.
Kyle.
Should I let him do it?
Fuck it, dude.
No, he's gonna. If he changes his name to Oliver, I feel like he's gonna start kissing boys.
Why do you say it like there's something wrong with that? Okay, you gotta just back yourself up a minute.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, us woke people would say you should change his name. You know why? Because if you change his name to Oliver, he'll start kissing boys.
He should kiss boys and figure out if that's a direction he wants to go or not.
You're so unwoke.
Okay.
You know how many boys I had to kiss to realize I wasn't?
I know she wouldn't be mad at me for saying this.
I like how this started.
Listen to this story.
Put your pen down, everyone listen.
One of my dear friends is Minka Kelly, who is, as you know, one of the most beautiful humans on this planet, inside and out. Okay? She came over last night because we haven't seen each other in forever. And
that's funny. We didn't get a call. No, that's cool.
Yeah,
and
thanks for...
Rob would have hated to be there.
We were by you the whole fucking pandemic.
Are you going to let me tell this story?
Now you got to just come over and smell the couch.
So Bo, I tell him Minka's coming over. And he was like playing it cool, and then
shit.
He was making it like, what time's Minka coming? I was like around 7:30.
Tucking in his shirt real quick.
He's untucking it.
Stop. So I'm like 7:30. So like I can feel him kind of like pacing, and like he comes and taps my phone. He's like, oh, so it's 7:32. She here?
Mommy, is she typically late?
I was like, baby, when somebody says they're coming, they mean they're coming around that time. So it might be 7:40, but like she's coming, she's gonna be here. And he's like, what what does Minka's voice sound like again? I was like, her voice?
Wow.
And I'm like, he's like, yeah. And I was like, she'll be like, hi, Bo. And he'd be like, oh yeah.
Whoa.
So Cutter and I were looking at each other like, what's happening? I've
yeah,
never
yeah.
seen him like have like real emotions like this.
Yeah.
He's no
So
Oliver.
he's waiting at the front door
That is not
and
an
he's
Oliver.
like, I think she's here. I think she's here. And it's like, great, babe, you can open the door for her. He turns around at the door and goes like this.
Whoa.
Licks his hand and slicks his hair back and turns, and Cutter and I just started crying, laughing, like, what the fuck was that move? It was so fast, like,
Yeah.
and then he was like acting all cool. He's like, hey, Minka, how you doing? Like, how's it going, Minka? And she's like, hi, Bo. And he's like, yeah, I'm just staying up late tonight. I'm just hanging out right now. I'm watching Ultimate Beast Mode on Netflix. She's like,
Hell
oh,
yeah.
okay. He
Doing some
would
self-grooming.
not go to bed last
What was
night.
she wearing?
We were in sweats.
Yeah. Oh, Jamie.
She's the best. And I told her, I was
been a while,
like,
guys.
just so you know, you are 1,000% his first crush, because I've never seen this type of behavior from him. I thought he was still too young for that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
you know?
No, you're
it
never
was
too
so cute.
You're never too young. I had erections at a young age.
I don't know if he had an erection.
I'm not
Oh.
saying he did. I'm talking about
Okay.
me. I'm not talking about your son's erections.
Okay.
But I'm just saying it's very possible to have
His
those
shirt was
feelings.
tucked in, by the way.
Hell yeah.
If he has to untuck it, that's when you worry.
He was telling him about like a bump he had. He's like, yeah, it was like a crazy big bump in the back of my head. She's like, can I feel it? He's like, yeah, just careful. It like really hurts.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
But like he was doing it like that. Like I'm not exaggerating 1 ounce how he was.
He's like, I can only let you touch it if you're wearing your nurse's outfit.
We told him at like 8:15. We're like, all right, dude, you got to go to bed. He's like, what do you mean? I stay up till 9:30 every night. And we were like, and I was really trying not to embarrass him.
Yeah.
But I was like, Bo, you got school tomorrow, dude. Like, yeah, other nights maybe you stay up, which is like a total lie. I'm like, but not tonight. He got so upset.
I'm getting
Like,
upset, too.
crying, Crying.
You're the biggest cock block in his life.
Mine too, apparently.
What age? There's. a
Could you
thing that
imagine if it's
happens.
like, if I open the door, I'm like, oh, I was just driving by. You're like, you don't even have a car, Rob. I'm like, oh, well, you
Oh,
know,
I'm just here. What's up?
I was just outside licking my hand. And,
Yeah. The lick hand move is like, where did he
I have no
see
idea
that?
where he came up with that. No idea.
Wait, did we not describe that for people listening? What Bo did
I
at
did.
the door.
I said
Oh,
he
okay.
licked his hand and slicked his
Another
hair
reason
back.
to
making
watch
sure.
the show, on YouTube.
It was.
Check us out.
It
Big
was
plug.
really special. It was really awesome. It
Well,
was
what's
really
her
cute.
what's her deal? Is she single these
I'm
days?
not here
or-
to talk about her.
Oh, okay.
This
Well,
is
then you're
not-
on the wrong
it's not
pod.
my
Yeah,
business.
this is not the What's
Or
Up with
anyone
Minka
else's,
Kelly pod.
rather.
That's on me and Rob's separate pod. What's Up with Minka Kelly?
She is. She's fully committed to Bo.
Well, you know what's funny is like in 20 years, he's got a real shot at her. He's got
Yeah.
a real shot at her because she's gonna be in her I don't know how old she is.
60s?
Yeah,
She'll be 60.
yeah.
6-year-old
Like
Minka.
right now, like Linda Carter is still out of my league, but like there will come a time
Wonder Woman.
where she's physically degraded enough to where a young, healthy buck like myself would be able to have sex with Wonder Woman. That's kind of one of my lifelong dreams.
Is that why you're staying single?
Absolutely. Yeah, and because one of my favorite shows was Living Single with Queen Latifah. And look how much fun all those girls had.
The best.
Everyone's checking in on each other,
Living
having a good time,
single.
having relationship problems. And there's the Citizen app.
That was Citizen.
Yeah.
It was?
Yeah. Should I say what
Wait,
it...
so
It's
now
like
you
fire
have to,
in a sweatshop.
Wait, so now you guys have to you have to save all of them and send me them.
Well, I've been saving them for like 2 years.
Great. Oh, so
So, like, do you want a
get
partner?
50%.
Yeah, do you want a partner,
Yes,
or-
let's fully partner. I don't want to. I want to do minimal work.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we can work something out.
Great.
Let me
you know.
see. I don't know. It doesn't say. Just police activity. I don't know.
Nothing
I got
exciting.
yeah.
Porsche Turbo being towed.
You know, it's 12 minutes. give it some time.
Have you ever gone back to see your car somewhere and it was just gone?
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes.
My truck It got towed, and it's been towed like twice.
How does that
have a
happen the
truck?
second time?
Yeah, I got another car. It's a truck.
Why don't
come
you ever
on,
drive that
Jamie.
one?
We have an episode called Cassim's Two Cars.
I can't. Yeah, it's on our other pod. I can't because it's got like there's dog hair because it's the car I take my
Rob
dog
got
around
it.
in, and
Thanks
Rob
for
will
singling me.
swell up and.
Thanks for ostracizing me, guys.
But I had an issue. This is super interesting stuff, but like it couldn't pass smog for a long time because there's, it's been modified and it's older. And so there's a couple times where my registration expired and I've come home and it had just been towed. And for like a full day, one day, I was like, where did I park? Because sometimes when you have two cars, you're like, did I?
Oh,
Did
is that what
I leave it
happens when you
somewhere?
have two cars?
You just
forget where the other one is sometimes.
I know you technically have two, but it's one is your husband's, one's yours. I just have two for myself. So so one day I came home, it was just gone.
That's how I am with my kids sometimes. You know,
Yeah.
I have two kids. I'm just like, wait, where's the other one?
Isn't one of these yours, Cutter?
Yeah.
How did your car get towed?
I parked it in I had it like a doctor's appointment and there was no parking on the street, so I parked it in like a grocery store shopping center,
Hell yeah, towed.
and someone towed it.
Wow. Only in LA that
Such
shit
a
happens.
no, that actually happened in New York.
Only
By the
in
way,
New York that happens.
In
That was
Queens.
that
Only-
was
only
the
in
one
Queens.
that was the one illegal thing Jamie did her whole life, and she paid for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if I've done anything else illegal.
No, just
No.
drugs before they were.
It's crazy
so
you had a
cool.
car
Yes.
in New York. I always thought you guys all just walked.
Well, Jamie's a Long Island girl.
Yeah, I had a car.
And that's not in
I
New
got a
York.
car, I want to say like season 4 or 5.
Cassim had a car, a cell, and we were all just fucking.
Because I moved into an apartment building that had a garage.
Yeah,
And I did. I liked going to Long Island to
What kind
see
of
my
car
family.
did you drive?
A Range Rover.
Hell yeah, I smoked weed in that car, dude.
Bitch.
It's truly my favorite car in the
I want to
planet.
lease one of those new Land Rover Defenders.
Yeah, but actually
gotta
my
have a
most favorite
warranty
car
on
was I had an LR4. They don't make them anymore. That was such a good car.
Oh, girl.
Drove great, so much space. I love being that high up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice car.
They don't make those LIR4s like they used to, huh?
Yeah, I just don't. They don't make them. Period.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, driving. I don't know if. When did you first? Is that your first car you ever got?
No. My
Okay.
first car I ever got was a little BMW 325i.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, those things were little speedy guys.
Yeah, I got in 2 accidents in it.
Ooh.
I don't know why that turns me on.
One was
What
your
were you
accident.
doing?
One was my fault, the other was somebody else's fault. Yeah. Do you remember? Oh, this is not the one with him. That was in my dad's car.
I was gonna say one was your fault, and the other one you
We
woke
talked
up.
about it on the pod.
You woke up behind the wheel.
Yeah.
You were
Yeah.
reckless. You were reckless behind the wheel.
People who don't know, Jamie got.
We talked
Jamie's-
about it on this pod, I think.
I know, but some people,
Okay.
If
you missed it.
you didn't remember.
I
I had a
didn't.
pager.
So did I.
Jamie got into a car accident with a male suitor. No, what? It was like your
My
boyfriend
boyfriend.
at the time.
Like my one bad boyfriend.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like the guy that was like just so clearly bad news.
Are you forgetting you're married to Cutter Dykstra? He is a bad, bad man.
Bad motherfucker.
Yeah,
you
he's
see
a
him with that meat?
smoker.
Yeah.
On the grill.
Yeah. I was like, he doesn't smoke
Ooh,
weed.
see what he
anymore.
did there?
I wanted to hit you harder, but
See what he did there?
I have a question
Fragile
about weed in
body.
a minute.
About weed?
Yeah.
Jamie, whatever, no big deal. Jamie was in a.
it almost
He was
died.
driving my car.
Yeah, go
he
ahead.
crashed it and then like picked me up and put me behind the wheel so he wouldn't get in trouble.
Yeah.
And I
then
wouldn't
tried
get
to
in
sue her
trouble
for
either.
it.
Relationships are
We crashed
cool,
into a
dude.
tree.
My
Yeah.
liver.
Terrible.
And that was just one of many red flags.
Yeah.
But it
That was
didn't.
the final
That was
one.
our first date.
That was the final one. I can promise you that.
You didn't stay with him after that?
No, we broke up like probably a few weeks later, yeah. Like 2 or 3 weeks later, yeah.
It takes time. Yeah. Once you're framed, when somebody puts you in a driver's seat of a DUI accident, and it takes a few weeks for you to.
He wasn't drunk. No one was drunk.
Oh, okay.
I would get in a car accident just to get a bump on my head, just to hope Minka Kelly would come and rub
Yeah.
the back of my head. Yeah. Oh, she is a
Poor
little
Bo.
fox.
She's the best.
So you have
My
a question about weed?
weed is, I feel like it's turning on me.
Wow, here's your guy.
The green monster. Yeah. Has he got a hold of you?
I'm
Let's talk about it.
no longer. It's no longer making me feel relaxed. It's getting my head spinning. And even in moments where I'm super stressed, I'm just gonna, take a little hit, like, because I'm moving, I've got all this stuff going on. It almost makes me like irritable. Mm-hmm. And I've never had that before. Like, I feel like the past 2 weeks I've been very irritable. And to me, the only thing that was causing it seemed like it was smoking weed.
I'd say 3 months, but yeah, 2 weeks-ish.
Weed, a lot of people think, it's very much like a relaxing, in the moment, it's a very short-term sort of thing. But in the long run, it actually makes your anxiety worse.
Yes, I'm noticing.
And so...
maybe because I'm in an anxious moment in my life.
You're super stressed. You've got a lot going on. So I would imagine that, that has something to do with it.
I think so.
But, there's somebody who's watching this right now that just thinks I'm a total idiot. On the other day, I celebrated 4 years of sobriety, right?
I know.
And so I got a lot of overwhelming amount of comments on my Instagram. It's like, oh, that's so cool, and it's great. But I got a couple that were like, from what, weed? Don't be a pussy. Like, there was a lot of that. Dude, weed's not an addictive substance. So I felt like I get where those people are coming from, because there was a time where I probably felt that way. But if I ever reacted like those people did, it's only because I think I'm being self-conscious in how much I was smoking.
Yes.
And a lot of people I think are probably deep down know that they abuse it, but like, since weed is just so cool and everyone is, you could go down to the street and buy it and you don't need a license, and it's become like alcohol, where it's so, I just do it at parties, and then I do it when I get home, and then when I wake up, it's like very casual. It's a very casual thing. So a lot of people they overreact it. Totally.
Yes, because it's supposed to make you act more, pleasing.
It's very possible for you to be to abuse weed.
Yeah.
Jamie, so I want to know, now with Corona, I know it's even worse with the kids and it's so much. But let's say you woke up on your birthday and you didn't wake up next to your husband. You came outside, the kids were gone, everything, and you look at your phone and the text message says, hey, babe, I took the kids for 24 hours. You have this whole day to yourself. Have the best time. We love you. A little video of the three of them. Oh, we love you. Yeah, we're happy. We're out somewhere doing some guy stuff. Does that make you happy? Or do you somewhere and I go, oh, I'm alone on my birthday?
I'm happy. What I would do is spend the whole day alone and then like meet some girlfriends for dinner.
Okay.
Like call some girlfriends to see if they would come over for dinner or, something like that.
Well, what are you going to be doing alone all that time?
Showering, sleeping, watching movies.
Smoking weed.
Yeah, or not now. I don't know. Just really feeling no sense of responsibility.
Yeah.
For anybody.
Yeah. I think that's the move.
Because all day,
that's the opposite
even
of
if
what
I'm
you
not,
have
like even if I'm not with my kids, I know I have like a countdown to when I have to go do something for one of them or have to pick them up or, so it's like to have a whole day of unlimited time where nothing feels like I only have this much time to do this is like literally just having a day basically of free will would be lovely.
Yeah. Me and Chasm talk all the time of like, we joke around like, oh, we went to the beach because we don't have kids. Or like, we do this because we don't have kids. And I realized the other night I was going through YouTube and because of Corona, I've seen everything on fucking Netflix that I want to see.
Mm-hmm.
I'm out of stuff. And I saw it was like the 1992 Royal Rumble, like WWF. And I was like, oh my God. I'm like, that's when I cared about wrestling. Like, that was my prime time. I'm like, I wonder what it looked like then. So I just I put it on to start watching it. I'm like, holy shit. Like the things that they're saying and that there was some guy, I forget, it wasn't like Hacksaw Jim Duggan or somebody, but it was somebody who came out in like a cowboy hat and they're like, get a load of this hick. Like, they just say all this stuff where you're like, well, like one guy was like, it was like Vladimir, whoever. And like he came out all day and they were like this crazy Russian. And then the guy was like, well, it's not a good time for Russia right now. And the guy was like, yeah, too bad. Like, you're like, wow, this was, and then like Stone Cold Steve Austin is like fucking throwing middle fingers in people's faces. If he, I don't even know if he was in there, but just in general,
later.
It's
different times.
Yeah, like what you see now, it's that people would be like, oh my God, is everyone who's watching this? Like, it's just, and look, we all turned out fucking fine.
Well, yeah, what do we?
Well, not all of us. Not all of us. That's the problem.
Are we making progress? Is that sort of the point? Are we making sociological progress by being being super woke these days, or does it come at a price, of like not being able to relax around your friends or say certain things, or where? Because I find that sometimes I like want to say something, but then it's not that bad. But even like now things are super sensitive, you're like, oh yeah, I should probably like do a double think on that. Maybe.
Yeah.
On a scale of 1 to 100, you don't like if 1 is I watch every word I say and 100 is I don't watch anything. What am I? And you're like when me and you were in that car alone.
You don't watch anything you say.
No, I think Cassim might. What are we from 1 to 100?
I definitely have to point out that I am like trying to better myself as I get older.
Me too.
Because there's like
that was always great.
I used to just
because you're not around enough people.
Yeah, that's true.
But there is a comfort of being with somebody who I know isn't going to judge what I say and may even laugh.
Definitely laugh.
Whereas I don't want to be a person who's just saying shocking things to say shocking things, but also there is just a level of comfort I have with Rob and with you. Your reaction, I would still say it with you, but your reaction would be different.
Yes.
And that's.
But I won't judge you.
I know you won't judge me, and that's the best way. That's the best way to be.
Yes, because I also feel like it's I think it's fine to correct somebody or to gently just be like,
Right.
But I think to kind of judge somebody harshly on things they say. Because I know where my heart is, and I make mistakes, and I say things that are meant to be maybe a little joke or something that I'll be pointed out that might have been insensitive or anything, and I'll be mortified. But it's just kind of like you're saying how we grew up, like I wasn't thinking, and I'm human, and we all make mistakes. I think it's the people that are the cancel culture of just like shutting somebody off for something is very unfair.
Yes. I think there's a way to correct people and like teach them, right? If they're really off base without coming from like a position of superiority. Because some people just are in the, like, I want to show, they call it virtue signaling, I think, is where they're like, I want to show how advanced I am and therefore I will condescend you in this point as I teach you. And then there's people, there was recently in the news, what's her name from Mandalorian, the actress.
Oh, yeah. Can you tell me what she said?
Well, okay. So she made a comparison she essentially did the thing that you're not supposed to do, which is compare something that's going on now to like Nazi Germany and what it was like to be Jewish, right? So her comparison was being a Republican now and the way Republicans or conservatives are treated is how Jews must have been treated by their neighbors and the level of antagonizing that happened. The way we look at conservatives or Republicans is the same way that the neighbors of Jewish people did in Nazi Germany, and it's the way they treated them, and therefore we're on a slippery slope and eventually working our way towards something akin to
the Holocaust.
Right, which is completely, I get what she's saying, but to make the comparison is not.
It's
like,
not. It
doesn't
it's not
work.
a good comparison.
Doesn't work, and she's done a couple weird, sort of like things like this. And
she was a UFC fighter.
She was a UFC or MMA. I don't know if she.
Yes,
maybe you might know, but she was definitely an MMA fighter. Gina Carano, and
so now she's fired.
And now she's off like one of the biggest shows on television.
I mean, look what's happening.
And she was a big part of the second season.
She got fired for that?
She got fired.
Completely. Disney was like, we'll not be hiring her again type of thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
And there was, a few months back, she was kind of poking fun at like how some people present their pronouns in their bios, like she, him, her. And I think she made like kind of like had a little fun with that. But her co-star, Pedro Pascal, I think, had to like tell her, well, this is why it's important some people do this and why it's, helpful. And so she's shown the ability to like absorb things and be sort of coached on this sort of things. But, I think she's just somebody who let that stuff get a little too far away from her.
Yeah. I mean, this is that thing where it's tricky because when you're a celebrity, you have to understand the power of your words. Yeah. And I think that, how do I say this?
It's weird for her.
You have every right to say what you feel. I'm not talking specifically to this, but like in general. But like you also have to understand that like the way you have a platform, you've got to be careful with your words, and you've got to be careful with what you represent, whether you meant to or not. You have to back shit up. You have to be more thoughtful. I think you need to check with other people because,
there are consequences to the things you say. You can say them all you want. That's kind of what the, First Amendment's all about.
Yeah.
Say what you want, but there is no guarantee of protection or like you won't lose a job or things like that, And also like, what's the cost? You lost a very lucrative gig to look like kind of edgy or like, what's the upside?
Why did you have to say that?
But let's say somebody's not trying to be edgy. Let's just say they're expressing their opinion. Like, hey, this is how I feel.
Well,
it's edgy to you. It might not be edgy to them.
I think comparing anything, I see what you're saying, but comparing anything to the Holocaust is just always going to be a miss.
I think if you're not Jewish, you can't really comment on the Holocaust.
Well, definitely don't make the comparison.
No.
You know what I mean? And sit down and watch Schindler's List, for Christ's sake.
All right, damn it. I want to follow this up with the most disgusting question I've ever asked you, Jamie, because it's only right. We need the
shake up.
Yeah, I need to shake shit up. Okay, let's say, how much money would we have to pay you? We put 3 cups in front of you, right? One of them has my jizz. One of them has Kasim's jizz.
This is the follow-up?
The other one has, we go down to Venice Pier and we pick somebody at random and we put their jizz in a cup. We put the 3 cups in front of you and we give you like when you had the ices as a kid and they came with that little wooden spoon. We give you the little wooden we give you the little wooden spoon and we say how much money. You don't know whose is who. We'll do a little 0. Thing 0. under the thing.
I'm out. I'm leaving. That's disgusting.
Jay, if we say, hey, we'll give you $100 million. If you put
$100 million, she's gotta do it.
It'll be gone in 5 seconds.
I do this for $16,000.
She's opening up her mouth right now.
I was yawning. One taste.
You just what the load. It's basically how big a load is.
You know those plastic cheese and cracker things that come with the red stick? Mm-hmm. It's the amount of cheese that's in one of those.
That's too much. Too much.
But I'm saying, let's say if somebody said, "Hey, $100 million cash free,"
I don't like these questions because they'll never happen, and then you're putting me in a position to just give an answer to this, and it would never. I will never be put in the position of $100 million being offered to me to taste somebody's cum.
All right, Bryce, rip up the check. We got Jamie. No, I like these questions because it's like I feel like I'm in your brain and I'm walking around and I'm looking like at New York City, how people look at the skyscrapers. Like I really feel like you're in there because like when you talked about the person that you would have sex with and it was like for a week and it was like you said $1 million, but I thought it would be $100 million. Then we talk about like that's the fun part is like discussing the
negotiations.
Yeah, and all of the like why and what because
this one's a hard no.
Because sometimes I also think it's really interesting to hear like what you find gross is nothing I would have ever thought of like why
you didn't think I would find this gross?
No, I mean like what about it? Like what like if you said. Oh well, I wouldn't mind the stranger's jizz, but the fact that it might be one of you, like it's the forks that it like.
Well, the stranger's jizz, don't even get it off the fucking table.
So like, there you go, Cass. That's great.
So my jizz could be on the table in front of you.
Well, just because I have no idea what STDs, anything could be involved in this cup.
I've recently had tests. And
I don't think you could get an STD.
I feel like you guys would be much cleaner, so I would.
Mine wouldn't be spicier. So save that joke for yourselves.
Definitely wasn't going to say that.
Yeah, it doesn't taste like curry.
Whatever color of jizz means
you
it's
disgusting.
Healthier. I would clearly know which one Rob was.
Well, I told
I'm
you.
healthier than Cass.
I told
Okay.
you
I like it.
when you build up. This is gross.
It's yellow.
You.
That's what you told me.
I know, but you're disgusting today. You're disgusting today. Yeah.
Well, you know what?
It's
It
like
gets
breast milk. Breast milk changes when you're the color of breast milk changes when you're sick. Yeah.
well.
Really?
If you wait a really long time to jizz, sometimes it's like the top of a ketchup. It gets all.
Yeah. What do you get when you wait too long? Is
Gets
it
all
like
crusty
blue raspberry?
and it's gotta push through.
Mommy's sick.
Oh, you really did.
I had to
Shake
do
it
it,
up.
Jamie. I can't stand the fucking.
I know. We're moving on. It's okay.
No. I listen. I love it all, but I just
No,
I
I
can't
wanted
stay
to know
in that.
because I it was one of those things that I was scrolling on Instagram and saw like so and so was fired from Mandalorian, and I
Right.
was too lazy to click on why.
No, I like hearing all sides, but then when we talk about that, we got to jump off the deep end.
Yes, this is Pajama Pants. I
Okay,
get it.
something a little closer, a little safer. Sorry. On 90 Day Fiance, there's a couple who they have everything of each other. So it's like my credit card has your face on it. My blanket has your face on it. I wear a T-shirt with your face on it. What the fuck is that? Because I've never seen that in real life. I've never known a couple where it's
Is that like some form of like, just claiming your man or your woman? Like,
it's so weird. I can't understand it at all. I can't even.
What country is one of them from?
Definitely un-American, right?
Yeah, I don't know, but they're not like crazy. Like they don't see. They're just like we love. By the way, they're not the only couple. Like there's a lot of couples who.
That do that?
Yeah.
There's a big cross section of these people that are Disneyland people. That they have the annual passes. They dress the same way when they go there. They go like once a month or even more.
Yep.
Disney people are a little scary.
That confuses me when people go very often. to
Yeah, they wear the
Disneyland.
hats. I love Disney. I think
It's
it's
a
a great
special
place
thing,
that you
though.
go once every few years, right? Like
maybe like once a year.
once a year, right? Spend $4,000 and take your 2 kids and like one meal and enjoy it, right?
And buy
the meal-
a pair of ears.
Yeah,
the food is terrible.
well. Look, you know,
Not the New Orleans plate. The New Orleans restaurant's pretty good.
it's a place where we can safely say that you're guaranteed to have a good long day with your kids that they'll always remember.
Yes.
And that you can't put a price on, but they do. It's about
That's
$4,000.
$4,000.
But there are people that do go every day, and they go without kids, and they go to
And they
they
know
go
the
to
park
City
by
Walk.
heart.
Yeah, and they hang or they Disney downtown Disney.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. And they turn it into like a weekend where they stay at the hotel. They do like a whole safari thing. There's a group of people that I don't know where they get the income to do this from because it's not cheap, but also it turns into like it's a brand that they wear very publicly.
Yeah. So I agree. I think those are the people that might wear each other's faces.
And those are the people that will print themselves onto their spouse's shirt.
I have a pair of socks with Cutter's face on them.
Well, I was at your house and I felt weird asking you about this, but I saw a pair of socks with your face on them.
Jenna, my co-host of Mama Said, sent them to me for Valentine's Day. It's my face and her face.
Yeah, there was a two. Yeah. It was.
It was a joke.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, you come over to my
She
house.
got it for me.
It was cool. Is that something we can buy?
Me?
Yeah.
Sure.
Well,
Did
you
ever
know what
feel like
men
it
do
was
with
off limits
socks.
to buy me?
Back to our other conversation.
What do they do with socks, Cass?
Even as an adult?
All right, so we put 3 socks on the table.
They're all standing up on their own.
You have to stick
They're
your hand-
magical socks.
They're magical socks, and they.
You have to wear it like a stocking, you're robbing a bank.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's something I've been thinking about.
Tell me.
If you guys want a little update on the dating apps.
We do.
Need it.
I told you guys I went on one date with someone that I liked, and I paused the apps just because I want to focus. And tell me if I'm if I'm wrong in thinking this, but it's tough to carry on with conversations with other people, and especially if there's potential with somebody or you like somebody. I wanted to focus my attention on that person and not because I don't get this whole thing, but you can essentially go meet somebody that you like, but then go and just keep chatting with other people.
Well, that's what Rob was talking about. Remember how you can
And it feels weird to me, and it feels like not all my energy is being. And there's probably a lot of dudes that are like, "What pussy, dude? Just it's a numbers game. Get them all, get them all."
No. Here's the difference. You're not looking for that. You're looking
But you're
for
not giving
a
yourself
relationship.
time to continue to think about this person because you are easily distracted then by the other ones. And
Right.
that's part of dating somebody new is going home and then like going through the night again in your head and things they said and things you liked. And you're like,
Or if it's me, I go through the security cam footage.
You're like, oh, why did I put my knee on why did I cross my legs when I said
I
that?
should have put the suitcase this way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things where I think other people probably would be like, yeah, just keep talking to as many of them as you can. And then when one clearly becomes like the leading horse, then you can relax a bit.
yeah. But that's probably hard to like pick that horse when they're all there.
But to me, I think to find the horse, I've got to like narrow my focus down.
Yes.
If I have a horse that looks like it's got, great thoroughbred genes, and then I put that energy in, and then that horse starts to move past. But right now, or before that, it just seemed like there's a ton of horses, and then you go, this one,
And what are you, the jockey?
Well, his last
I'm riding on top.
his last horse was a mutter.
She was a tough mutter.
Stupid.
Well, that's the update. Nothing really new. I'll let you know if. To be honest, I'm looking to squeeze out some kids early 2022.
I would love to see that.
That's why it's different for you. You're on this app. I'd say maybe 10% of guys are looking for what you're looking for, which is like, that's why you're like, oh, there's guys out there who are saying this. Yeah, because they just want to fuck.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, but I'm 37. I'm gonna be 38 at the end of the year. I don't
I
have
wish
enough.
there was an app then more specifically for like, I'm looking for a partner.
This is the app, right?
$1 million.
Hear me out.
Idea.
This is my idea. You can come in as a partner. It's an app. It's a dating app, but it takes both your photos, combines them into, and it shows you what your kids will look like.
Not accurate. You did it with Cutter and I when we were first dating.
This is
nothing like
it's a
our kids.
superior algorithm, and it's using state-of-the-art technology, and it's better than what you just talked about. Okay, it actually takes your baby photos and merges them, and then it goes potentially this is what your kids are gonna look like. So that way you can kind of weed out. So you're swiping left or right on the gal or guy, but also you're swiping left on the ugly kid.
Yeah, but how is this like ensuring that somebody's like serious?
I can tell you
it's not at all. It's all superficial.
I can tell you right now what my baby's going to look like. It's going to look like every other white baby.
Yeah.
Bald.
Depends who you have a baby with. So you can have
That's
some really
true.
strong genes.
You
coming
both
in there.
send in 23andMe samples, and then they give you a clone of a little baby, right? And then you got to put it in like a tub, a vat, and with wires hooked up, and you grow your own.
You grow it.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's gonna happen one day.
We're gonna get there.
Here's what I've been noticing. Obviously, like, it's colder weather in New York, where all my friends are from, and it's like, when I hear that my friends are drinking or partying, I never feel jealous ever.
Mm-hmm.
When I see, no matter what it is, for some reason there's something about when someone's in the snow and it's like a fucking like real blizzard, and they're like standing outside of a bar, like drunk, smoking a cigarette. I'm like, oh yeah, like
You like that?
something
I
about
get so
that.
jealous when I see snow.
Yeah, like
I
I
want to be in it
just
so bad.
I know, because I'm like, all the times when as an adult, the only time I ever enjoyed being in that kind of weather was being drunk and smoking cigarettes. Any other time it was
Also,
like this
too,
fucking
New York
snow.
City kind of shuts down when there's a blizzard. So you're literally like walking in the middle of the street, It's
Yeah.
like a real magical place.
My favorite thing used to be, so my friend would park his car and we'd wait for all the snow to get on the windows, and then we would just smoke blunts in the car.
Oh my God.
And just sit there for hours and just chill and smoke and
That's so
laugh.
fun.
Yeah, it was before anyone had their own apartment,
Right.
The most fun I've ever had in the snow that you mentioned is when I was like smoking and drinking.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, right now I just think about like, well, I guess I could have a nice like warm glass of cider by a fire, look at snow, but nothing was more fun than like bundling up and smoking, and especially in New York, getting real high, feeling the snow land on you, and also everything's super quiet. The snow dampens the sound and everything.
Yeah.
Heightens your senses. That's when I hunt. That's when I find my
You
victims.
get real primal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now when
Look out, Minka Kelly.
Yeah.
Better hope it doesn't snow out here.
Being like 35, 36 and like snow. And then I'm like, oh, my shoe's going to get wet. Like you think about all this stuff where like drinking and smoking a cigarette. I like that fucking plow truck could come by and just push all the snow on me. And you were like, yeah, all right, I'll just light another cigarette.
It's fun. It would be fun.
Yeah. Like you're just, it was like an adventure.
If it was water and rain, it would be disgusting.
Yeah. But it's just, you're like, oh, this is something new. Like, you know, it put it excited. But when I see friends like in the summer and they're smoking a cigarette, I'm like, ugh. Like I just think of like hot and like when I was in Vegas and it was 110 degrees and outside the casino people would be smoking. I'm like that because you already felt like you were breathing in fire. Like when you walked outside of a fucking casino in Vegas, and I was like, oh, but when I see like it's 14 degrees and you see somebody in like a t-shirt and like a knit hat with their ears covered and they're smoking and they're clearly drunk, I'm like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good times.
I do. I miss it. I miss that. I miss because it kind of represents the whole reason people like to drink, right? It's like all this stuff's going around me and you're like, I don't give a fuck, you know?
Yeah, you physically get warmer when you're drunk.
I can't remember the last time I was drunk.
Let's change it.
My body doesn't like it. I just don't, you know, I like it's hard for me to connect with my friends when they're drinking.
Well, yeah. Totally.
Because I'll watch them get to a certain level and I'm just still the same. And I'm not trying to bring them down. I'll still enjoy myself, but I'm just like, I can't, it's not worth it to me. It's just not.
They're on a completely different frequency and it's almost impossible to get there.
It really is.
Without it.
Yeah.
You said an amazing thing on our podcast that I never put it together, but like the psychedelic energy is very like, ooh, and like you're like the drunk energy is very dense. Like it's just
darker to me. It's heavy. It's just
and it's not like somebody wants to like grab you and shake you. Like if you're doing
very much
mushrooms, no one would ever like grab you and shake you ever. Like it's just
gentle and light and and that's where I like to live.
Yeah, the because we talked about on Sunday at your house when we used to go to like I've been to a bunch, but we went to a few together, right? The SNL after parties.
I've never been to one.
I thought we went to some together. No, I thought at that like rock bar that
I've
we were
never
at.
been to one.
Really? Because we were talking about like he was asking me about going to SNL after parties.
One time.
See?
Yes, one time. Yes.
It was with me.
Was because it was Lohan was the host?
I don't remember, but it was with me, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
One time, because I never had gone to them before. Yes.
Right, and because Cassim was talking about like going to SNL after party stuff, and I'm like, I was at a point where I was going out so much that I would go to an SNL after party and not even know it was an SNL after party. Like I'd be like, oh, it's Saturday night, like 2 a.m. and I'm dancing, and like all of a sudden someone's like, yeah, man, like I always wanted to go to an SNL after party, and then I look around and I'm like, oh yeah, like
that's where we're at.
Yeah, I'm like that makes sense because there's more like.
What were they like? Were they crazy? Were they?
To me it was like every other kind of party, but like I think also a lot of people talk about like the after party is where you want to be in it, but I would go to that sometimes, but again, like, you know, we talk about I was like the star of my music video. Like I was so crazy that like a lot of times I didn't even know who was at the table next to me. I didn't care. Like I was just staring at the ceiling, screaming and drinking out of a bottle of tequila and having a ball. But I remember like Dan Aykroyd would show up at a lot of places. There was a time towards the end where it was like Keenan. There were times where we saw like Jimmy Fallon was at the one that we went to, I think.
Yes.
And do you remember anything about it?
Nothing. I just remember when you said rock bar, like I could remember, it was the only, like I said, the only time I had ever gone with my boyfriend at the time that was like in nightlife. So I think that was why too.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if you were at more than you know, because you really don't realize that they're an SNL after. It's not like outside, like, hey, it's just kind of like.
I remember it was Lohan only because my boyfriend at the time was this huge Pearl Jam fan, and I think Pearl Jam was the musical guest.
Yeah.
Which is why we went.
Right. And they were, you know, and I also think it's one of those things like when I went to the Playboy Mansion, I was like, this place fucking sucks. Like, it's one of those things where, not that the SNL after party sucked, they were great. It's just, it was like going out. Like, you know, it was hanging out. But when I went to the Playboy Mansion, you expected so much. And then you get there and you're like, oh, these are like.
Nothing, right?
Yeah, it's also like, I think we missed the heyday, like of the time where it was all. Now it was like everybody had cameras and they wanted to. Oh my God, look, it's me. Yeah, it's me in the grotto and it's me doing this, and you're like, these people are very like.
No, everything in the 70s and like probably early 80s was the time. Then it became like trying to be that time.
Yeah, and I remember like because you're not allowed to drive. We weren't allowed to drive up to the Playboy Mansion. You have to park somewhere, and they have like buses come take you. And I remember being in that bus, and it was like what I imagine like the football team on the Super Bowl is like. You know, like you're shaking your friend. You're like, this is gonna fucking be crazy. Yeah. And then you get there, and you're like, oh,
it's gross.
Yeah, it's gross. It kind of has like the smell of like a local pool, like the pool I went to when I was growing up.
Talking about cups of jizz.
Yeah, and just the whole. I remember.
What?
I went there a couple times, and I remember one time I went there, and your husband was in the grotto.
Married with him?
I think so.
Married with him?
Yeah, I think you're still married with him. Yeah, and I remember going into the grotto.
That explains a lot, guys.
Yeah.
If you're ever wondering.
And he was in there, and I was like, oh, because I remember I went into the grotto, and I was in all my clothes, and I felt uncomfortable. Like, I was like, oh, because there were people, like, straight up having sex.
Was he?
No. Oh. He was, like, chilling. He was in a robe, I remember. And he was just, like, Mr., you know, Hollywood. Like, he had that vibe. And he's like, hey, what's going on? And just...
We should say your ex-husband.
Yeah.
Ex-husband. Yeah. Sorry, guys. Yeah, not
I was thinking
Cutter.
Cutter in there. I was like,
Imagine.
that doesn't sound like Cutter.
It's not.
Could Cassim imagine Cutter in a robe? Yeah, I think so. I think he does all the fucking time.
Yeah. I've known him since he was 16. Okay, I've thought about him a lot over the years. Well, that's it. That's been an episode. I want to thank you guys for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, click the notification bell. That way you're alerted when the new videos go live. And we're also on Instagram and Twitter, and so is Jamie. She's on Instagram and Twitter, and so am I. And Rob is a ghost. He has...
Although I want to talk next episode about Clubhouse, because I'm trying to get Rob to join Clubhouse, even though I don't know what it is.
I've had a bunch of people say... It's funny because you talked about... Last time we were here, Bryce was talking about George, and he's like, poor George is trying to get invited to this, like, exclusive club or whatever. In the last week, I've had so many invites. Like, people are just like, please, come. Like, you should really join this.
I feel like you have a lot of time on your hands, so, like, you can just... There's cool conversations always happening. You don't have to be part of. You can just, like, sit in the room and listen.
Right, but then
I'll get notifications that like Shonda Rhimes and whatever are talking about like breaking through a script, and I'm like, how cool for a writer to just like be able to go listen to that.
And then are there ones where you talk?
You can talk in any of them.
Yeah. So then how does it not become
it's like Zoom, like it'll only pick up one voice at a time, kind of, right?
So so it's so exclusive that there's not a lot of jerk-offs trying to just
You have to say, Rob, point of privilege, please.
Yeah, Rob, point of personal privilege. Could you not use... So I got a video to show you.
I got a Clubhouse account, and maybe you can show me how to use it because I haven't really.
I just got it 2 days ago, so we'll try.
Would love to take that on with you. And if you guys want, please follow us on Instagram. I think we're taking...
You said that already.
Guys, Cassim really needs you to follow us on Instagram.
Just so you know, Jack is missing his last soccer because of this closing.
I asked you need to leave.
We're running.
It's pointless now. We're gonna be late.
We got questions and emails, but we're running low, and I wanted to offer our Instagram as a place where you can send comments and questions, and
I'm just going to explain to Jack he can't go to soccer.
There is a young white kid who doesn't get to play soccer right now because of you.
Yeah. That's like kind of like what the Jews went through in the Holocaust, don't you think?